Welcome back to Horoscope TV. Today we are talking all about you, Aquarius.
Yeah, we really are. It's a big one.
It is. So if you are an Aquarius or, if you have a lot of Aquarius in your astrological charts, you really need to sit down and listen. This whole episode is entirely dedicated to you for the week of May 25 to May 34th, 2026.
Exactly. And uh, honestly, this week is no joke.
Right. I mean, just looking at the astro data, we've got intense personal growth, some hidden traps that are super easy to fall into, but also some of the luckiest career moments of the whole year.
Oh, definitely. You've got some of the heaviest planets out there just sort of staging a standoff in your chart.
A standoff, that sounds intense. So if you want to ride this roller coaster without totally flying off the tracks, you really need to know what the stars are doing right now. Why should they be tuning in exactly?
Well, the charts for this week show a really vivid story for Aquarius. We have these massive, slow-moving planets clashing.
Just clashing, bumping into each other?
Yeah, basically, creating some very real friction. It's going to feel heavy at first, I won't lie, but the payoff is so worth it because the week actually ends with a really bright, happy moon phase.
Oh, nice. Good to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. And our goal today is just to analyze these charts so you are fully prepared for every single twist and turn.
I love that. Let's start with that heavy feeling, though, because it's kind of impossible to ignore. There's this huge background energy right now, and it honestly just feels like a pressure cooker sitting on a hot stove.
That is the perfect way to describe it. And the planet causing that rattling lid on the pot is Pluto.
Ah, Pluto.
Yep. Right now, retrograde Pluto is moving backward through your own sign of Aquarius.
Okay, so Pluto is the planet of transformation, right? But let's analyze why it feels so heavy. Because, when people hear transformation, they think of butterflies and rainbows.
Right, like a glow up.
Yeah, but this does not feel like a glow up. This feels like a demolition crew just showed up at my front door.
Well, think about Pluto in the old myths. He's the boss of the underworld. He rules over all the stuff that is hidden, buried deep down in the dark.
So the stuff we don't want to look at.
Exactly. Our deepest fears, hidden desires, but also hidden power and wealth. Because, gold and diamonds are found underground.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. Pluto's job is to dig those things up.
Mm.
And it is not a gentle process. It's literal excavation.
And right now, he's doing that digging in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Which is a sign all about, breaking the rules and doing things differently.
Yeah, so Pluto is unearthing all your rule-breaking energy. But because Pluto is retrograde, meaning it looks like it's moving backward from Earth, that digging isn't happening out in the real world.
Where is it happening then?
It's an inside job. It's happening entirely inside your own mind. You aren't trying to change the world right now. You're trying to overthrow your own outdated inner programming.
Wow. Overthrowing your own inner programming. No wonder I'm so tired. What exactly is an Aquarius rethinking right now?
Power and money. You are taking a brutally honest look at how you handle both. You're basically asking yourself, the stuff I thought would make me feel safe 3 years ago, does it actually matter to me now?
Right, like cleaning out the mental basement.
Exactly that.
Okay, so the oven is preheated. We are doing this heavy internal digging. And then we hit May 26th. Looking at the astro data, this is where the lid really starts rattling.
Oh, yes. The 26th is a big day.
Because Mars is in Taurus, and it forms a harsh square with Pluto. Now, I know a square is a 90-degree angle on the chart, but explain to me how that actually feels in real life.
Think of a square like two speeding cars arriving at a four-way intersection at the exact same time. And the traffic lights are totally broken.
Oh, no. So nobody wants to yield.
Exactly. Neither car wants to stop.
Yeah.
They are at a 90-degree angle blocking each other. Mars wants to go fast, and Pluto wants total control. The friction comes to the fact that they literally cannot get past each other.
It's a total standoff. Wait, but Mars is the planet of war and drive, right?
It is.
And it's in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign.
It is.
Taurus is usually, stubborn, sure, but it likes comfort. It wants a soft blanket and snacks. Why is Mars acting so aggressive while it's wearing a comfy Taurus sweater? Am I missing something here?
That is a brilliant question.
Yeah.
And it's exactly why this is so dangerous. Mars absolutely hates being in Taurus.
Really? Why?
Mars wants to sprint into battle. But Taurus is like a slow, muddy, comfortable pasture. Mars feels completely trapped.
Oh, I see.
And when you trap the planet of war, it doesn't just take a nap. It stews, gets super frustrated. The anger goes underground and builds up, just like that pressure cooker you mentioned.
Okay, so we have a frustrated, trapped Mars in Taurus, which rules our private home life, and it's crashing directly into Pluto, which is tearing down our internal beliefs in Aquarius.
Yes. So this clash creates this massive tug of war. Your home life, your need for everything to just be calm and comfy is fighting with what you personally want to achieve.
So it's like family demands are the heavy lid on your pot of personal growth.
Exactly. And if you don't find a steam valve, that pot is going to explode all over the kitchen.
Yikes. So I'm guessing this looks like a huge, angry outburst at whoever happens to be standing nearby.
Very likely, yeah. And I really need to stress something here. This isn't just a mental thing. This planetary standoff brings a massive amount of physical stress to your body.
Physical stress from a planet.
Absolutely. Mars is a highly physical planet. It rules muscles, blood, heat. When it clashes with Pluto, you get a literal buildup of aggressive energy in your cells.
So you can't just like sit on the couch, watch a movie, and try to think your way out of a bad mood.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
You must find a healthy outlet to burn off this aggressive energy before it turns into a painful headache or, a pulled muscle from carrying so much tension.
So what do they need to do?
A tough physical workout or a fast-paced sport. You literally need to sweat.
Just going for a gentle walk around the block isn't going to cut it, is it?
No. You need to push your muscles, hit a punching bag, lift heavy weights, go for a really intense run.
You have to give that Mars energy a target.
Exactly. Because if you don't give it a target to destroy, it will turn inward and create anxiety. Or it'll turn outward and create a completely unnecessary fight with your roommate.
Move the body to protect the mind. I like that. But looking at the charts, it looks like the stars do throw us a little bit of a lifeline right before the pressure peaks.
Yes, they do. A day earlier, on May 25, the moon enters Libra.
And Libra is an air sign, just like Aquarius.
Exactly. This is your saving grace this week. When the moon hangs out in an air sign, it sort of pulls you out of the heavy mud and lifts you up.
So it gives you like a bird's eye view.
Yeah, it helps you step back and see the bigger picture. It brings some much-needed mental balance.
That's great. So when the pressure cooker starts whistling on the 26th, you can use that clarity you got on the 25th.
Exactly. Gives you the mental tools. But here is the catch. You have to actively support this mental balance with your physical habits.
What do you mean? Like food?
Yeah. During stressful transits, it's so easy to just reach for comfort. And since we have Mars in Taurus, which is the sign of food and eating, the urge to stress eat is going to be incredibly high.
Oh man, the urge to just order a giant greasy pizza and hide under the covers.
It's going to be a very strong urge.
Ugh.
But your body is already under heavy strain from that Mars-Pluto clash. If you give it heavy junk food to digest on top of the planetary stress.
It's like adding a rock to a sinking ship.
Exactly. You need to eat healthy, clean foods, give your body premium fuel so it can actually process all this emotional friction.
Okay, so hit the gym, eat a salad, and do not yell at your family. Got it.
That's the formula.
But, this tension you're feeling at home on the 26th, it doesn't just stay at home. That aggressive Martian energy is going to follow you right out the door and into the office.
It really is. The friction doesn't magically stop when you clock in at work. This heavy clash means you are going to face fierce competition from a jealous coworker.
Now, hold on. If you are already feeling like a shaken-up soda can from all the stress at home, and then someone at work starts acting petty, how do you not just totally snap?
It's tough, I know. But this is where we have to reframe what is actually happening. That jealous coworker isn't actually your enemy this week.
They aren't. They sure act like it.
No, they are your mirror. Remember, Pluto is forcing you to dig up your hidden power. Your frustration with this coworker is actually just your own hidden fear of stepping into the spotlight.
Whoa, wait, really?
Yes. They are acting out because they can sense your growing power, and you are annoyed because you haven't fully claimed that power yet.
That changes everything. So instead of fighting them, you just recognize they are reacting to your glow-up.
Precisely. And the astrodata backs this up beautifully. You must not let this coworker drag you down because on that exact same day, May 26, the sun forms a very helpful trine with Pluto.
Okay, a trine. We know a square is a car crash. What does a trine look like?
A trine is a 120-degree angle. So instead of a blocked intersection, imagine two cars merging flawlessly onto a highway at the exact same speed.
So no friction at all.
None. The energy flows perfectly. The sun is the planet of light, identity, and the spotlight. It is shining a massive beam of light directly onto your zone of personal power.
Where Pluto is sitting.
Exactly. So while Mars is trying to pick a silly fight, the sun is handing you a megaphone.
Wow. So the strategy here isn't to defend yourself against the coworker. It's to just outshine them so completely that they become irrelevant.
That is exactly what you should do. Don't waste your energy defending your turf. Use this massive surge in creative confidence to pitch wild new ideas to your bosses.
Because Aquarius is known for being a visionary anyway.
Exactly. This is the day to speak up at the big meetings. Show off that project you've been working on quietly. Your bosses will see your vision and respect your authority.
Success really is the best revenge. Just shine so bright they have to wear shades. But while we are talking about work and success, we have to look at the money side of things. Because I'm seeing some pretty stark warnings in the charts for May 26 and May 29.
Yes, your wallet absolutely needs a bodyguard this week. That heavy Mars-Pluto square on May 26 isn't just about anger. It's a giant warning sign to avoid risky investments.
And what about lending money?
Also a huge warning against lending money to friends.
That is always such a tricky situation, because as an Aquarius, you naturally care about your community. You want to help out.
You do, but you have to understand the power dynamics here. When Pluto is involved, money is never just paper or numbers on a screen.
What is it then?
Money becomes a tool for control. Lending money during a Mars-Pluto square isn't just about losing cash, it's a power struggle. It's like giving someone the keys to your car while they are actively trying to grab the steering wheel.
That makes so much sense. You think you're being nice, but you're actually creating this tangled web of resentment.
Exactly. If you lend money on this day, they are going to feel controlled by you, and you are going to feel angry at them. There is a very high chance you will never see that money again.
And it could destroy the friendship. So just keep the wallet shut.
Firmly shut.
I can see this playing out in smaller ways, too, like feeling pressured to buy a round of expensive drinks for everyone just to prove you're doing well.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a false sense of urgency to prove your power. Don't fall for it. Just let everyone split the bill.
Exactly. Save your cash. Because just a few days later, on May 29, you might feel a little pinch. Things are going to feel a bit tight.
Yeah, looking at the charts for the 29th, seeing a Venus-Saturn square makes me cringe. Venus is money and beauty, and Saturn is like a giant stop sign, right?
Right. Saturn is the rule maker, the limit setter.
So are we looking at a total financial disaster here?
No, it's not a disaster, but it is a restriction. When Saturn squares Venus, it squishes it. Saturn forces Venus to be highly practical.
So you might feel like a payment is late or a client backs out.
Yeah, or your budget for a project gets slashed at the last minute.
That sounds super stressful, especially after all that explosive energy earlier in the week.
It feels stressful in the moment, sure, but you must not panic. Because when we analyze the larger charts, we see this is only a short delay.
Saturn doesn't want to ruin your life.
No. Saturn just wants to make sure your foundation is solid.
Yeah.
It wants you to be patient, double-check your math, and make sure your budget makes sense.
So it's a speed bump, not a roadblock.
Exactly. And honestly, the money is going to flow again very soon, in a really big way.
Whoa.
When, later on that exact same day, May 29, we see a rare astrological event. It's called a benefic enclosure.
Okay, pause. Benefic enclosure. Break that down into simple words for us. What does that mean?
So in astrology, we have the benefics and the malefics. The benefics are the lucky, helpful planets like Venus and Jupiter. They bring the good stuff: money, luck, growth.
And an enclosure.
An enclosure happens when a specific area of your chart is squeezed or surrounded by these lucky planets.
Squeezed! Like a sandwich.
Yes. Imagine your career path is the meat in the sandwich, and the stars have placed two massive protective shields on either side of it.
Like a force field of good energy.
Exactly. So even though grumpy Saturn might cause a tiny delay with a paycheck in the morning, the overall structure of your career is being blessed with this massive wave of luck.
That is incredible. So the benefic enclosure brings absolute protection to your job.
It does. Your bold moves are guarded.
Yeah.
Your reputation is safe. That short-term delay really means nothing in the face of this long-term luck.
I can totally see why we called this week a roller coaster. You're dodging jealous coworkers, clamping your wallet shut, waiting on a late paycheck, and then surfing a wave of career protection. It's wild.
It really is.
But the twists and turns do not stop at the office. We need to talk about matters of the heart, because the romantic forecast for this week looks just as crazy.
Oh, love and romance are looking very intense, very complicated, and honestly a bit dramatic. And the trouble starts early.
Right, on May 25, right. Mercury forms in opposition to Lilith. Now, Mercury is the messenger. It's the planet of talking, texting, emails. But Lilith is a wild card. Tell us about Lilith.
Lilith represents our shadow side. The raw, untamed parts of our nature that we usually keep hidden so we can be polite.
So when Mercury, the logical speaking planet, Sits exactly opposite Lilith in the sky.
They play a dangerous game of tug of war. Your logical brain is trying to say one thing, but your untamed shadow side rips the steering wheel away.
Wow, so that causes weird, confusing communication.
Extremely confusing.
I've totally had days like this. This is when you send a super innocent text like, hey, what's for dinner? And your partner somehow reads it as a massive insult about their cooking.
That is exactly how it plays out.
Hmm.
Or you try to explain why you are feeling stressed and the words come out sounding incredibly cold and angry.
So you just feel totally misunderstood by someone you love?
Yes, it's like you are suddenly speaking two entirely different emotional languages.
And the timing of this is just brutal because this happens on May 25, the day right before the huge Mars and Pluto clash on May 26.
Yeah, that is the trigger. The explosive Mars-Pluto clash happens directly in your sign, Aquarius.
Yeah.
So you are already feeling misunderstood and isolated from the day before.
Your defenses are way up.
Exactly. You're expecting a fight. So when your partner asks you a simple question, you are easily triggered.
So if they ask, did you remember to take out the trash? Yeah, your brain just hears, you are useless and I'm tired of you.
Yes, you are braced for impact, so you turn everything into a battle. And because Pluto is involved, there is this massive desire to just take charge and control the relationship.
So you can't be hurt.
Exactly. But trying to control the relationship right now is the worst possible thing you can do.
Why does control backfire so badly with these planets?
Because Pluto deals with deep power, not just bossing someone around. If you try to dictate how your partner should feel, you are basically declaring war.
And your partner is feeling the tense energy in the air, too.
Right, so if you try to force their hand, it will only pour gasoline on the fire. You have to let go of the steering wheel. Allow things to be messy for a minute without trying to fix them.
Which honestly makes what happens on May 29 look a lot better. We talked about Venus forming a difficult square with Saturn, creating a money delay. But Venus is also love. How does Saturn affect our relationships here?
Saturn brings coldness and limits. In a romance, a square to Saturn brings a temporary feeling of emotional distance.
So you might feel like your partner is building a wall.
Yeah, or you just realize you cannot connect with them emotionally no matter how hard you try. It feels chilly.
I have a theory here. After all that explosive defensive energy from the start of the week, maybe emotional distance is exactly what we need.
You are completely right.
Like this Saturn transit is actually a blessing in disguise. It seemed like the perfect time to just give your partner some serious breathing room.
Yes, absolutely. Reframe this distance. Do not view the chill in the air as a punishment. Don't think your relationship is failing.
View it as a cosmically mandated pause button.
Exactly. Give them space. Take space for yourself. Read a book. Work on a hobby. Let the dust settle.
Just let the silence do the healing. I love that. So with all this romantic tension and needing space, who should an Aquarius actually hang out with this week? Looking at the astro data, there is one clear winner.
Yes, there is. The absolute best match for you this week is Libra.
Libra. Why does that work so well right now?
It goes back to the moon entering Libra on May 25. When the moon highlights Libra energy, it makes it incredibly easy for you to share your complex thoughts.
Because Aquarius minds are always moving a million miles a minute.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you are going through huge interchanges with Pluto in your sign. You need someone who can keep up intellectually.
And Libra is an air sign, just like Aquarius, so they can keep up without getting bogged down in heavy feelings.
Exactly. They operate on the same mental frequency. They bring fairness and balance to every conversation. But more importantly, a Libra will not judge your weird, unconventional ideas.
So talking to a Libra this week is basically like a cheat code for feeling understood.
It really is. They are the ultimate sounding board. When you feel defensive from that Mars-Pluto clash, a Libra can calmly talk you down from the ledge.
They smooth out your rough edges.
Yeah, they remind you of the beauty in the world. Being around them leads to just endless, calming conversations.
So everyone needs a Libra friend on speed dial this week. But if Libra is the safe harbor, there's also a rocky shore we need to avoid. The charts point to one sign you should definitely steer clear of: Pisces.
Yes. Highly advise keeping a very safe distance from Pisces this week. Do not get into deep conversations with them.
But wait, aren't opposites sometimes attractive? Aquarius is super logical, and Pisces is deeply emotional. Doesn't that create a nice balance sometimes?
Normally, yes, they can balance each other out.
Yeah.
But right now, the specific transits make this a total recipe for disaster.
Oh, wow. Why?
Pisces currently has the true node moving through their sign. The true node is the point in the sky that represents destiny and forward momentum. For Pisces, their path right now is all about deep, consuming emotional connection.
They want to merge souls.
Exactly. They want to share every single feeling and just dissolve all boundaries.
And Aquarius, meanwhile, is fiercely independent. Mars and Pluto are screaming at you to break free and establish your own power. The idea of merging souls probably sounds like a terrifying trap to an Aquarius right now.
Exactly. You want ultimate freedom. They want ultimate fusion. It is a fundamental clash. Plus, on May 25, the Sun forms a sextile angle to Neptune.
Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces, right? The planet of dreams and illusions.
Yes, and this angle makes Pisces even more dreamy, sensitive, and emotionally focused than usual.
So while you are trying to be completely rational and strategic about your growth, they are just swimming in a pool of swirling emotions.
Yes, and that is where the friction ignites. You will find their total lack of logic incredibly frustrating. You want to solve relationship problems with reason and space.
But Pisces doesn't want a rational solution. They want emotional validation and closeness.
Exactly, and when you give them a logical solution, they're going to think you are cold, unfeeling, and completely heartless.
So they feel rejected by your need for independence, and you feel suffocated by their need for closeness.
Yes, it just leads to hurt feelings on both sides.
Yeah.
The best advice, keep a safe distance. Just text them next week. Keep it friendly and brief.
Find a Libra. Avoid the Pisces. Got it. So we've survived the pressure cooker. We've navigated the jealous coworker by outshining them. We dodged the romantic landmines by taking space. I think we have earned a reward. Let's look at the weekend because the energy finally breaks, doesn't it?
The good news is coming in strong, and it starts on May 30. We see a major, palpable change in the atmosphere.
The heavy clouds finally part. What is happening on May 30?
The moon leaves the intense sign of Scorpio and enters Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's full of optimism, joy, and forward movement.
So this signals that we are finally ready to wrap up the heavy lifting.
Yes, the strategic, plotting, defensive energy of the week is completely done. You can close your laptop, let out a deep breath, and just look forward.
That sounds amazing. And this optimistic shift sets the stage perfectly for the grand finale. On May 31, we have a very happy full moon in Sagittarius.
Yes, we do.
I love a happy full moon. What does this mean for our Aquarius listeners?
A full moon always brings things to a peak or a bright conclusion. For Aquarius, Sagittarius rules your sector of friendships, networks, and community.
So this brings a wonderful culmination to a group project, or like a massive celebration with friends.
Exactly. It's the party at the end of a very long, very tough week. It's a time to gather with your people and celebrate the fact that you didn't blow up your life.
What about romance and fun? We had some heavy relationship stuff earlier. Does this full moon thaw the ice?
Completely. The full moon in Sagittarius
Yeah.
washes all that tension away. It brings laughter and adventure back to romance.
So if you gave your partner space earlier, May 31 is the perfect day to come back together.
Yes, the pressure's totally off. It's a great time for a lighthearted date filled with genuine laughter. You can just enjoy each other without overthinking everything.
And what about the money side? You mentioned networking, and we had that benefic closure protecting our career. Does the full moon tie into that?
Absolutely. Because the full moon highlights your networking sector, it acts as an opening for new money opportunities through your friends.
Oh, nice.
Remember those wild ideas you pitched to your bosses? This is when your network steps up to help you make them real. You might be at a weekend gathering, having fun, and casually meet someone who offers you a side hustle or a partnership.
So the seeds you planted earlier are blooming through your social circle. That is fantastic. Finally, what about health and the body? We started the week needing a really tough workout to burn off anger.
The physical energy shifts completely here, too. The full moon brings a highly active, joyful physical energy. You are no longer working out of frustration.
So now you can just dance and shake out all those tight muscles.
Exactly. It's less about hitting a punching bag and more about dancing in your living room with your friends until you can't breathe from laughing.
I love that journey for the body and the mind, from a pressure cooker to a dance party. Before we completely wrap up this incredible forecast, I want to quickly rattle off the lucky extras for the week.
Yes, the cheat sheet.
Right, just a little cheat sheet to keep in your pocket. Your lucky color to wear or surround yourself with this week is cyan. The absolute best dates to take action and make big moves are May 25 and May 26. And the lucky numbers to watch for all week long are 2, 11, 20, 29, 38, and 47. Write those down, put them in your phone, keep them handy.
Those numbers and dates are your anchors. When things feel chaotic, focus on those points of luck. They remind you the universe has a structure.
So, to summarize the wild ride we just went on, you are starting the week with intense internal pressure. You are navigating weird communications in love and choosing to outshine a jealous coworker instead of fighting them.
Yeah, and you were keeping your wallet closed to weather a short financial delay.
Right. But if you handle that early friction wisely, you end the week with a massive celebration, fun romance, and exciting new money opportunities from your friends. It is a big week.
It is a massive week of growth. You won't be the same person on Sunday that you were on Monday. And I want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question to chew on as you navigate this energy.
Oh, I love these. Let's hear it.
If retrograde Pluto is forcing you to completely rethink your relationship with money and power this week, what is the one outdated, inherited belief about success you are still holding on to that you need to finally drop?
Wow. What an incredible question. Really take some time to think about that one, you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time listening to the episode on Horoscope TV. We know your time is valuable, and we are so glad you chose to spend it analyzing the stars with us. If you found this helpful and want to stay ahead of the cosmos, please subscribe so you can get notified the exact moment the next episode is available. See you next time.